Okay. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, and all of the normal greetings of the day. It's your boss, the final boss. And this is the Final Boss podcast brought to you by our Trinity Entertainment, our Trinity Music Group. Tonight, we have a great show for you. We're going to continue our series on financial wealth health with the wealth strategist. And tonight topic, we're going to be discussing who controls your money or the control of your money. Who has it? We're going to get down to the bottom of it. The floor is yours.
All right. Now, I want to put out this disclaimer first and foremost for all of you guys. Thank you for joining. The content of today is not meant as investment, tax, or legal advice. The information is for educational and entertainment purposes only. And without further ado, hi, I'm so glad that you guys are here. My name is Cynthia Chinconce, the wealth strategist with Chinconce Financial, and our company provides consulting services to help our clients amplify their wealth. Doing how? Using the same strategies that the ultra wealthy, like the Rockefellers, have been using for decades to help
Mm.
you build, protect, and transfer your wealth while paying the least tax liability and having the least risk possible and having the most income in retirement. Now, the following information, I'm going to be honest with you, it's probably going to upset you. And you know what? I hope that it does upset you because, as I said before, most people, if they aren't feeling the pain, aren't going to change the course of their actions. Would
That's
you
two
agree
nights.
with me?
That's 2 nights in a row that you're upsetting people. But let's get to it.
And it's going to sting. And I hope it does. And I hope you're ready for a reality check. And believe me, not many people in my profession are going to give it to you straight, no chaser. My clients actually love and respect me for it. And I hope you do too. Now, over the past 12 years, I've dedicated myself to wake up the everyday, hardworking American just like you to see the writing on the wall when it comes to building and preserving wealth. Exposing the tax code, Wall Street, media financial gurus that don't have the best intentions for you, which ultimately are feeding their own pockets. Okay. And I'm not sure if you ever heard of anything like this, Dwight. Have you? Are you familiar with what I'm talking about?
Absolutely.
And so we teach us how do you build a solid financial foundation
Mhm.
using the right steps in the right order. That makes a big difference, the right order. I'm not going to get into that specifically now, but we can definitely talk about that in a one-on-one consultation.
Okay.
And so we want to make sure that we can help you build wealth and help you watch out for things like market volatility and understand it. Okay. Taxes in retirement or taxes associated with you growing your wealth, risk management, and passing on that wealth. That way you don't have to be a victim to the system. Sounds fair?
Sounds fair to me.
All right, so I'm going to do a quick little recap on the past few days on the Financial Wealth Health series that you're tuning into right now, just to summarize and bring you guys back up to speed. So, in day one, we learned about who I am, my background, how I've helped families and business owners to build, grow, and transfer their wealth for generations to come. Discuss different things in terms of different types of retirement accounts and how the accumulation phase and the distribution phase work. Day two, we learned different strategies for growing your money. So we talked about fixed, variable, indexed accounts. We covered an index strategy using our method
Mhm.
that doesn't involve you investing your money in the market via EFTs or index funds.
Right.
But rather using our methodology where your money grows with the market but not in the market, and so that's going to allow you to not be exposed to any losses and be ahead than everybody else. What do you think about that, Dwight?
Sounds like a plan.
You
I'm
like
loving it.
it? All right,
Absolutely.
awesome. And then
Okay.
day three, which was yesterday, we learned about taxes in retirement. So we talked about tax deductible contribution, how it works, the downsides of delaying taxes, postponing it, and postponing it to a future time, 10, 20, 30 years from now, when you're actually ready to use that money. And we saw, I did go over a story with one of my clients and the devastation of him losing 30% of his $1.3 million from his qualified retirement accounts upon having to retire.
Right.
And I don't want that for you. Because if you're saving and you're consistent and disciplined, I mean, who wants to lose money if you don't need to?
No.
Right? And a lot of people are chasing a high rate of return, a potential high rate of return, which, look what happened today. The Dow Jones lost 1,000, went down by 1,000. If you are ready to retire in the next 5 years, like I'm very concerned. I'm very concerned for you. How are you going to make it up? We talked about tax exempt distribution and retirement, and we also talked a little bit about tax law instability due to Congress potentially taxing your retirement accounts and real estate assets more than what the current tax rate is now. And I discussed how the current $35 trillion debt could affect that decision in increasing the taxes on your wealth, essentially. So today, in day 4, I'm going to discuss control of your wealth, control of your money, and lack thereof. So let's talk about how much control you actually have. And obviously, I mentioned earlier today about what happened with the Dow and why did it go down. And the market downturn today reflects growing concerns about the economic instability and the potential for a recession in our current economy. Did you hear anything about that, Dwight? What happened?
I was plugged in all day watching MSNBC, which is my go-to channel. Shout out to MSNBC. There are different factors that are causing that caused the Dow to crash, but not really crash, but dropped 1,000 points. There are a lot of different variables, instability, like you said, instability around the world, and
inflation, Federal Reserve
politics,
taking action faster.
Year. It's a lot of
Definitely
different factors. So, a lot of people are on the edge of their seat trying to figure out which direction the economy is going to go in. But as we witnessed today, it doesn't look like it's going in the right direction. But
it really doesn't.
Yeah.
And that leads me to the whole conversation that we're having today about control of your money, right? Okay. You have money in these retirement accounts and in the market. I mean, you just took a big hit today. And depending on how old you are and how soon it's going to be that you're going to need to use those funds for maybe a job loss potentially. I mean, the job market is still not great. It's still not good, right? Which is part of the instability as far as, one of the factors, right? As far as what happened today in the stock market.
I think
and so what can you control?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Can you repeat that? You kind of broke up a little bit.
No, I was saying that the job market was showing that we're at 4.85 unemployment, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact number. I know that the job growth, there isn't much of a job growth at all, and we've seen it with big corporations downsizing and even closing their doors. And especially in April. April was one of the months that had the most significant drop in corporations downsizing and completely shutting their doors, and mom and pop businesses were the greatest affected, so that tells us a lot. So I want to ask you guys these questions. Okay. I want you to start thinking about your own, your savings, your retirement accounts, your real estate assets. I want to ask you in particular to your retirement accounts, whether it's a TSP, 401k, an IRA. Do you have the free will to contribute as much as you want every year, or does the government set the limits?
The government definitely set the limits.
Okay, write the stuff down. I want you to put a column together. One
Mhm.
is you, and you're going to check off as I'm asking you these questions. You're going to put a little check under you if you have control. You're going to put a check under government if they have a control. Okay. Now, can you take your money out of these accounts for any reason without any penalties?
No,
No. Jot that down. And who decides this? You or the government?
the government
The
definitely.
government. Okay,
Mhm.
so another check right there.
Okay.
Now, given the state of our weak economy, our high inflation, if you had to take money out of your qualified retirement accounts right now,
Mhm.
you would lose roughly 38% for every dollar you take out. How does it
Wow.
make you feel?
Sick inside because it's my money.
Pissed off, right? Right.
Yeah.
It's your money. And let me tell you how that number comes about, right?
Mhm.
10%, 10% penalty, which is imposed by who?
Also imposed by the government.
Right, the IRS, right?
Mhm.
If you're under 59 and a half, the IRS rule says, hey, 10% penalty if you want to access your funds. Obviously, there are two exceptions to that. You have to, one, either prove an economic hardship, or two, it's for the down payment of your primary residence. But we're
Right.
not talking about those instances, right? And then the other two factors is state tax and federal tax. So that's
Right.
how I came up with that number, 38%. Okay, and that's
Mhm.
a national average, right? And you know what? I hope it pisses you guys off because it certainly pisses me off, and I'm not even affected by this at all because my retirement has, I have full control of my retirement, and that's what I want to show you guys and share with you guys today. So let me continue. I want to just give you guys some factual data as far as having access to your 401k, your IRAs, right? If you need to take that money out, you're going to have to pay a 10% penalty plus state and federal taxes. Now, imagine you're 30 in your 30s or your 40s right now. I mean, you have what, 20 years left until you retire, give or take, right? Things
Mhm.
could happen. Things could happen that you're going to need money, and a significant amount of money to maybe cover, 6 months of your expenses or 12 months of your expenses for whatever reason, right? And what happened in 2022? In 2022, 401k retirement balances declined by 23% on average, according to Fidelity. And then, according to Violet Golf, they reported about 3.6% of its plan participants initiated hardship withdrawals. That was up from 2.8 from the year prior, you know. And then additionally, a record number of Americans withdrew money from their retirement accounts due to financial emergencies. So think about this for yourself. If you're going to have a financial emergency, which we don't really know, right? We can't really predict that, right?
Mhm.
With 40% tapped into their 401ks to avoid foreclosure. I mean, look at all the people who purchased in 2020. You remember that housing frenzy? Like
Yeah.
the bidding wars and all that happened?
Mhm.
Okay, well, life happened after that, right? And about 40% of those new homeowners had to tap into their 401k savings to avoid foreclosing on their home right now. And that's because they also don't have the right mitigation risk strategies in place and have a solid foundation in case these things happen. What do you think about that?
Um, you know, I was just watching I think it was about a month ago. They were discussing the amount of homes that were purchased in that time frame and the percentage of people who are in foreclosure right now. It's astounding. The numbers are ridiculous and they're not telling the whole truth as painting the picture of the lack of economic growth that we're really experiencing.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Real
That
picture
part.
is not being conveyed. They're not telling us that part because what will happen is people will be scared for the economy. People start pulling their money away. They'll stop buying things. It would be a soup sandwich show. As it would not be good. So
No, and you
yeah.
know what? Part of what happened today was because of that information getting out and
Yeah.
investors realizing that those job reports weren't quite accurate.
Right. Oh,
You know,
that's a whole nother conversation.
I know. But
That
see how
the
all of this is
that
related, and
system and how it's reported is not accurate at all. Period.
right, right,
So,
right. Because
yeah.
because getting the jobs back from those that were lost during 2020, 2021,
Mhm.
it's not a new job growth,
Right. That's not a new
right?
job. Right.
Right, but they're reporting it as such,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
so today is kind of like we're seeing the writing on the wall, and investors are seeing the writing on the wall, and they're, pretty worried about the elections. All of that's going to have a lot to do with our economy. I mean, we've seen it this last couple of years,
Yeah. Like
you
Jamie
know.
Dimon, he mentioned
Mhm.
that the next president is going to have to bring faith back into America to have the people have faith back in America and building a stronger America from within. But I digress. I'll let you continue.
No, this is good. This is good. But you know what? Like, for you guys who are watching this, and you probably know of people, maybe you were affected with having to tap into your 401k prematurely, and you know what I'm talking about as
Oh,
well.
absolutely, absolutely.
You
That's
know, but what if there was a different strategy where you can, you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, even 50s, and you can put money away in an indexing strategy that I spoke about a couple days ago, where you
Mhm.
gain with the market, but your money is not exposed in the market, but you also have control and access to your money without any penalties or taxes. Wouldn't you rather do that?
Yeah, preach.
The problem is that people don't even know it exists, but I'm glad that you guys are here with me today, because that's one of the things that we specialize in helping people do, set up those kind of accounts.
Mhm.
But a couple more questions for you guys, just to kind of wrap it all up here as far as like the control and access to your funds, and just really realizing where is it that you actually stand, like who really does have the control. So for those of you who are real estate investors, and you guys definitely know this, who decides any changes that happen to 1031 exchanges? Who has control of that, you or the government? The government. Right. So I'm not sure if you guys know this, but Biden in 2023 changed the 1031 exchange policy. And I want you guys to go look that up for yourselves and compare it to years prior and see how it affects your building wealth in retirement. And it's not a good thing. It didn't help. It didn't help you guys.
Mhm.
So there you go again. There's another checkpoint for the government column, And when it comes to Social Security, so for all those of you who are thinking about Social Security, who decides when you can start using it? You or the government? Do I have to answer that? The government, right? Because they decide the ages, right? They just say,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? Because they set their tables. They say, okay, they push the retirement age up several
Right.
times. Now they're talking about pushing it all the way to, Larry Flint is talking about pushing it up to 71. Are you guys
Yeah.
happy with that?
Yeah, that's outrageous.
No. And then a lot of people don't know this and a lot of other people don't know this now. The wealthy who have, the wealthy have a lot of money in their qualified retirement accounts, investments accounts, and they don't necessarily actually need to start withdrawing from that. They have other assets that they're living off of, right? And for them, that is their wealth that they want to transfer, part of their wealth. They want to transfer as inheritance to their grandchildren, right? But
Mhm.
here's the thing a lot of people probably don't know. If you built so much wealth into, your IRAs, investment account, TSPs, 401ks, and you're 72 years old, can you allow your money to continue growing in there for your grandchildren? Or are you forced to start taking out minimum distributions?
Is that a question you're asking?
I'm asking. Do you know?
I don't know.
You're forced.
Mm,
You are forced. It's called a RMD rule.
wow.
Okay.
Okay.
A required RMD stands for required minimum distributions, and they recently changed the age
Hmm.
slightly to 72 years old. And so at that point, if you didn't start taking, and you can go Wikipedia this, okay? I'm going to share this information to you from there, okay? So let's take a look at that, okay?
Now let's.
Individuals with
Yeah.
individuals with IRAs are required to begin withdrawing a minimum amount from their IRAs no later than April 1st of the year following in which they reach 72. And here's what happens. There's a monetary penalty. Did you know that?
Of course, there's always a penalty.
Who puts the penalty?
You said what now?
Who sets the penalty?
Uncle Sugar.
Uncle Sugar. Okay, so here's the penalty. The monetary penalty is an excise tax equal to 50% of the amount they should have withdrawn plus interest. And this penalty is in addition to the ordinary income tax assessed at the individual's marginal rate and state income taxes. How you guys like that?
We don't like it at all.
Oh my God, it's horrible. So, are you guys starting to see how zero input and control you actually have on your own retirement accounts? You guys mad yet?
I'm fuming right now.
Now, listen, this is my belief, doesn't have to be your belief, okay? But I believe that the government and the big three have way too much control and power over your available retirement accounts. And, hopefully you're starting to see the writing on the wall and you're pissed off enough to take some action and gain some control back. So you're probably asking now, what am I going to do? What do I do? So here's what I'm going to share with you. What if there existed a way that you could create your own retirement without any of these rules or limitations? Would you ditch their plan?
Of course, that's common sense. Absolutely, I'm ditching the plan.
That's right. But the thing is, you don't know it exists, but it does. So here's the thing. This is what I'm going to offer you guys. If you're ready to break free from what the government and the media financial gurus tell you about building wealth for your retirement, and you're looking for a better, smarter, wiser strategy, then it's time that you and me have a private conversation. And because I really want to help you guys, I'm going to extend 20 minutes at no cost to you so that we can get together over the phone, discuss your financial situation, and see if this strategy that I help other clients to achieve financial freedom and have complete control is actually going to fit you and right for you. So that being said, I don't know, do you have any questions for me?
No, I don't. I look, it's been a great week. I can have we have many touch points, but for everyone else, please contact her. Take advantage of the free 20-minute consultation. See exactly where you are. Put a check on your financial wealth health. Just like you going to the doctor, just like you talk to your lawyers or your whoever when you paying your bills, make sure your financial wealth is healthy. And Miss Cynthia is the MD in that department. She's the doctor. So
Here to help
give
you
her
guys.
give her a we're gonna post some links. So get in touch with her. Set up the 20-minute free consultation, and you guys can discuss that further and see where you are. See how financially healthy you really are. I'm your
And
host.
share this.
Yes, of course.
This information with someone that's either being affected, was affected, or could be affected.
Mhm.
Because if they don't know the information and they're not seeing the writing on the wall, they're going to be continually stuck in the same situation.
Right.
And it's going to be a perpetual same vicious cycle over and over again.
I'm gonna do my part to help you help them. So
Right. And thank you.
you absolutely. And it's been a pleasure. I'm sure that this is not the last time that we're going to have you on the show. It's been a great 4-part series. I hope everyone took notes and have been paying attention to the information that we have been conveying to you. Pay attention to what's going on in the news and and the different financial markets. The economy is not your friend. Listen, I'm gonna say that again. The economy is not your friend. And with that, I am Turbo the CEO. She is Cynthia Shinkanse. That's Zay, the wealth strategist.
The wealth strategist.
And we're signing off. Thank you again. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and have a great night.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.